Hello my boys, good morning. So GGG did the reveal stream for early access, and in this video I will show you the Path of Exile 2 highlights. So the most important ideas that you need to go home with. First of all, I need to start this video by saying that Path of Exile 1 players will have an advantage over the others. Yeah, why? Because most of the side content that we find now in Path of Exile 1 for the Atlas, it's returning in Path of Exile 2. So we're gonna have Expedition, we're gonna have a Breach, we're gonna have Ritual, we're gonna have Delirium, and I'm pretty sure they will add even more, because these are well thought side content that we have here in the Atlas, which is great. Not to mention that the whole Atlas system will be also in Path of Exile 2. So Exile 1 players are already familiar with this system, with the Atlas progression system. They just change the graphics, now they look fancier, but it's the same idea. Same with the skill tree here. So players that played Path of Exile 1 will have an advantage over players that have not played Path of Exile at all. Even for the unique items. So in Path of Exile we have some unique items with different effects. So here we have a bunch of uniques that will return in Path of Exile 2, and players who have not tried Path of Exile 1 will need to do a lot of catching up. You know, for the skill tree, for the Atlas tree, for the uniques, for the side content, and can be overwhelming for them. Yeah, but if you're a Path of Exile 1 player, smooth sailing. Enough talking, now let's go into the stream. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the early access game structure. We should start with this one because I think it's the biggest thing. Once you start the game on 6 December, you will only have access to Acts 1, 2, 3, and then you will jump directly to the end game. So you won't see typically Act 4, 5, 6, they skip this part, because GGG is a smart company that realized that the player will stay mostly in the end game. So the campaign progression, you just do it once for your character, and the rest of the league you will stay in endgame. This is also true for Path of Exile 1, as you know. So as I said multiple times, the campaign is nothing. You do it once, and then you remain in the endgame. So GGG decided to skip the fluffy part, Acts 4, 5, and 6, to polish them better and to give the players the end game directly, so they can have real fun. And this is great, because a lot of players, even in Diablo 4, they polish acts, the first acts they polish, they make it them interesting to catch the players, to grab their attention, so they can buy the full game, and for the end game they have shit. And GGG is a different company, different mentality. And here, what you need to know for the 6th December, that they will repeat Acts 1, 2, 3 until you get close to level 65, will be the entry point for the end game. Yeah, so these are a repetition of Acts 1 to 3, where you can level up further. They will be slightly harder. Think of it as Diablo 2, for example. We have the normal difficulty, nightmare difficulty, and hell difficulty. So this is normal, and here we have nightmare difficulty. You know, it's repeated, the same acts, but harder. Maybe we have a higher monster density, higher damage, something like that. Then we reach the end game and we have fun. So yeah, regarding early access, we will have access to the end game where we will spend a lot of time, which is great. My boys, now let's talk about the Path of Exile 2 classes. There are a lot of classes in Path of Exile 2, but on 6 December you can only play 6, which is important to know. So we will be able to play the warrior, the mercenary, I think this is the sorceress, this is the witch, this is the monk, and this is the ranger. What's important to note here, that in Path of Exile 2 you can ascend your character and take further specialization. So you can specialize the warrior, mercenary, sorceress, witch, monk, and ranger with different ascendancy classes. Know that in Path of Exile we have 3 ascendancy classes to pick from, but in early access you will only have 2. So all these classes actually will have one more that is not yet revealed. Yeah, so they are working on it, they are polishing it, so we will have even more complexity to the game. My boys, here I will give you some tips regarding the classes that you will pick. New channel visitors might not know me, but I'm an old school action role-playing gamer. So I played Diablo 2 the moment it launched all the way. I don't like Diablo 4, I don't like Diablo 3, I find them very arcade-ish. No, that's an arcade game. It's not fun. It's not a real action role-playing game. So in these games, you want ranged skills. You know, like bow and arrow, ranged spells. You don't actually want melee builds, especially because you need to face tank a lot of things, and it's harder to dodge the boss mechanics. So I don't care what you've seen in the gameplay footage, but you actually try it yourself. You will find it's much more harder to play. So I personally will go with ranger or mercenary because they are ranged, yeah, which is also interesting. Maybe minions, we don't know the minion AI, if it's smart or stupid, you know. In Path of Exile 1, minions can be slow. And in case you forgot, in Path of Exile 2, for harder bosses, you don't have access to 6 portals, like in Path of Exile 1. So you have to do the whole encounter in one go. So if you play a melee build, for example, it's harder to dodge all their mechanics. Range builds have an easier time usually in Path of Exile, and you can build defenses. I'm pretty sure that we will find ways to create defensive layers, effective defensive layers. So if you want to listen to PoE guy, go with Ranger, Mercenary, or witch or sorceress, yeah. Try to avoid starting the league with monk or warrior. If you want to listen to me, of course. If you don't want to listen, it's okay. Because the idea is that we want to have fun in these games. Okay, let's move on. My boys, here it's a big one, so they made Path of Exile 2 more friendly towards new players. Because in Path of Exile 1 it's a mess. For a new player, if it starts, he will have a lot of questions, he will open a lot of external sources, so he can document himself about the game. In Path of Exile 2 they made it much more simpler. For example, in Path of Exile 2 you will have an easier interface for support gems. Here we'll give some recommendations that you can pick from, making it very easy. If you're a veteran Path of Exile players, you can uncheck this box here and you will see all the available support gems. Your sky is the limit for customization. But I like this interface, it's friendly towards new players, so it will give you free recommendations and you will pick one. You don't have hundreds of recommendations, which is great, so they made it more friendly towards new players. My boys, here it's another sexy one. So in Path of Exile 2 we will have the same gold system that we had in Settlers of Kalgur. I explained when the league started that they experimenting new features for Path of Exile 2 inside Path of Exile 1, and that was the case. We're gonna even have the auction house here, so it's great. Having an auction house in such a game, it's a great quality of life for casual players or players that cannot play a lot, because they can put some orders and they can go to sleep and they can actually sell things and buy things while they sleep. So these panels will be similar in Path of Exile 2 depending on what content they decide to pour in. But as I explained, most of the items that we found in Path of Exile 1 will be available in Path of Exile 2, slightly reworked here and there. And the gold system is also nice. Why we need to have a gold for the auction house? Simply because without a gold system, people can abuse the auction house and create fresh accounts and do flips. They can flip the auction house, but with gold, the player actually needs to interact with the game. So he needs to reach the end game to get a lot of gold so he can post his scrap in the auction house. So this is a great mechanic to have gold for the auction house. Yeah, so we're gonna have auction house and we're gonna have gold in Path of Exile 2. My boys, now let's talk about the Atlas. When I first seen this, I was thinking of the game Heroes of Might and Magic 3, because I played that game a lot. Let's pause this beauty and talk a little about this system. Well, basically these points are like maps in Path of Exile 1. Think of it like maps. And these towers, think of it like the old sextant mechanic. So when Path of Exile 1 first introduced sextants, they worked a little differently. They would affect a radius around them and applying different buffs and modifiers. It's the exact same system. So we have maps and we have big sextants that can also overlap. We have 3 towers here, so this map can have 3 effects from 3 different sextants. Now if you're a new Path of Exile player, this can be confusing for you, but don't worry, trial and error. The more you play, the better you get. Players that own Path of Exile are the players that actually play the game, you know? You need to go inside the game and actually play the game so you get personal game experience. Now this game can actually be hard for casual players because you will need to dodge a lot, especially at the start. Maybe we won't have great defensive layers, we won't have overpowered items, you know. And now in Path of Exile 1 you can buy overpowered items and you can tank a lot of hits, you know, you're a tanky boy. But in this game you're more about map awareness, player flexibility, reaction time, that's about it. So you need to play the game so you get better. What I suggest is that you don't follow a build guide. You need to know about the game, the general aspects of the game. Yeah, those you need to know them. But trust me, you don't want to follow a precise build guide. When Last Epoch launched, players already knew what builds to make. They were having already the guide, following skill point allocation one by one. Don't do that crap. The whole idea is to have fun and to enjoy and to relax, yeah? And to experiment. This game has a good storyline. If you follow a direct, precise guide on launch, it will ruin the game experience, it's my opinion. Later, when you want to get really good at the game, you can follow a guide. But on your first playthrough, you should enjoy what Path of Exile 2 has to offer. Yeah, this is all about it. Enjoy and good luck.